Hey, good morning, everybody. Wait a minute. Hold on. Gotta echo. Gotta fix that. Hey, good morning, everybody. Let me verify my sound is working fine. And that was super loud. All right, good. We're good. Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope y'all are all doing well. For whatever reason, I don't know if you saw a little stutter. Having a little network stuff first thing in the morning, but oh well. Thank y'all for joining me. Hopefully my stuff doesn't act up here. I'm in the process of doing some revisions, and I'm trying to get my display working so I can see what is going on. Thank y'all so much for dropping by. We got a lot of stuff going on. For the people who know what's going on, thank you so much for your prayers and everything like that. My apologies for not doing as many videos as I normally do. Just had a lot of stuff going on. Let me just verify my sound one more time. All right, good. So we're good here. Thank y'all so much. I got another football game today, so we got a lot of things in the works. Got to pick my daughter up early. Got to take her, hang out with her cousin. Then I go to the game. Got to test out some more stuff. And then we have a funeral on Saturday. So it's going to be interesting. And I'm just turning my fan on here because it's kind of hot. Let me get through my formal stuff here. AJay the CEO, if you didn't know, thank you so much. If you like the stuff and that we put out and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Also, make sure you like. And why that button is not right. That's my stuff is off. Let's try that again. If you're okay, make sure you join the Facebook group. I don't know why my stuff is off compared to where it is. We got some other stuff coming up. We have not this Sunday, but next Sunday, we have a kind of pastors and ministers type of Zoom call that we'd love to invite y'all to, especially your pastors and everything like that. And thank you, Josh, for making the graphic. I'm trying to upload it here now so I can share it on here with the information. There we go. So if I get rid of this, and this is the information. If you're on the Facebook group, it's already there, but this is coming up on the 14th. A pastors roundtable, ministers, pastors are invited. If most of the group is normally for media ministry, but we want to share this as an opportunity to talk and get some questions answered from not just me, from a media ministries as a whole. We have over 2,000 media ministries from all over the world, and that's what that is for. What else we got? If I can't get to your question, you can always hit me up at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. And I think that is about it. Let me give some shout outs to everybody that's on here. Josh, as usual. TWC TV, hello. The Arab Immigrants, hello. Schaefer's, hello. Mike said he's not going to be able to watch live today, but he will catch later. Thank you. Daniel, Maggie, hello. Lester, blessings. Clarence, Michael, Daniel, Jamie from India, CP, and Clarissa with the super chat. Thank you. I kind of answered that already while we were starting. The Chuck Taylor, hello. Good morning from Texas, Chuck. What else we got? Who else we got here? Anita, hello. Good morning. Stephen, Video Systems. JHB. Behemoth Abe's Media. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. From Brussels, Belgium. Awesome. John Cook, hello. Art D, hello. And wait a minute, my sister. Is this my sister on here? This is my older sister. Hello, Kathy. Thank you for joining. Oh, man. So Thank y'all so much. Let me go here and jump through some questions. And if you didn't see the question that someone was already asking, where we at? First, the one question, Josh. Yes, I just finished watching WandaVision finale. Nobody spoil it for anybody else on here. All right. Let's see. What else do we got? Lester wants to know, will I make a video about the AJay Mini Pro update? Actually, I did record one already. It just didn't come out the way I wanted to. So that's why it has not seen the light of day. But let me know. I really went over it to go over the phone tethering and some stuff like that. Might go over it again. You know, if y'all want, let me know. What else we got here? Michael wants to know, where do I get my graphics, the like, subscribe, and everything like that? That is all from Video Hive, but I've since bought a, thank you, John, for the super chat. I always get my stuff from Video Hive originally, but then I bought a yearly subscription to Elements at Invatu, who owns the same thing, gives you more access to more stuff. I use it for business as well, too. This is where I get it from, but right here, you can get unlimited downloads with Invatu Elements, and that's the reason why I went with them, because I use it for sports, everything. Like I'm doing the sports stuff this afternoon, live streaming games and stuff like that. But honestly, I recommend that you check out Video Hive and sign up for it, because honestly, at minimum, they give you free stuff every month. So they got this particle effect that now they're actually doing more DaVinci Resolve stuff too, which is awesome. So they give you some 3D objects. They give you a web template, some music, WordPress compliance, some Photoshop stuff, and some still imagery. So like if you had DaVinci, and that's super loud. Sorry about that. So these are effects that you can use in DaVinci Resolve, which awesome. I don't have to keep using After Effects, but they're making it. I bought a whole bunch of transitions from them as well too. But honestly, that's where I get my stuff from. I don't want to give away everything that I have, but I mean, yeah, I've got broadcast packages, the stuff I do for my church, I do for my YouTube, I do for clients. All of that is done here. And that reminds me, I have another thing I need to do for a client. Now that I think about it. Let's see. Daniel wants to know, do I know anyone upgrading to the extreme selling a used AJay Mini ISO? Maybe, wink, wink, something like that. Maybe. I'm waiting for some confirmation on stuff first. Me personally, with the football and school sports and stuff like that, I'm looking at buying another AJay. I may think about selling mine and getting the extreme, but I kind of don't want to pack up everything. I want to have a portable system, so it's possible. No 100% yet. Hello, Jamie again. How y'all doing? Blessings. Who else we got in here? CP has a question here. Hey, AJ, you've been really helpful at our church. Thank you. I have run out of USB ports and need to use a powered USB hub. Should my Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 work without any issue if plugged into one? Yeah, it should, but you got to be careful on how much power is being drawn from your USB, because even though you might have multiple USB ports in your computer, all of them are based off of a hub, and it gives you a certain amount of power that's allowed for each one. So let me see where that is. I think they've moved it on the computer here. Let me try and show you where that might be, at least give you an understanding of that. Let's take this down. Let's switch over here. So on here's kind of like my device manager. You know, you have your USB controllers and drivers down here. So I have a hub connected to mine. That's what that is right there. But you got to realize that all of these hubs have a certain amount of power that comes out of here. And I don't know where they used to show how much power is being used. But in other words, yes, the hub will work, but you just got to be careful of how much power is getting drawn from it, because it will stop working. That was kind of the issue that I had with mine when I was doing the video on what I'm doing for sports. I was drawing too much power for the, when I was using the AJay imaging PTZ over USB, there was drawing too much power. And then you also talk about bandwidth. As long as you manage that, you should be fine. And we already answered Clarissa, sorry for pronouncing your name wrong, question, wants to know about, does this webcam work with the ATEM Mini? And honestly, I didn't know what this was until I searched for it, and I have seen this, and I was really interested in it at first. I thought it was a big webcam, but it's not. Let me go here and show y'all if you don't know what it is. It is this little webcam right here that is a PTZ. See, I thought it was a lot bigger, but it fits right on top of your screen. And the main issue with this is just like any webcam. The only connection, as you can see right there, it looks like USB-C, and you can't plug a USB-C into the ATEM directly. You can't convert that into a HDMI, anything like that, unfortunately. It looks really slick. Honestly, I wouldn't mind trying to get something like this, and maybe like for my pastor or something like that. It's kind of steep, but again, there is a purpose for it. But unfortunately, no, this isn't something that you can hook into the ATEM at all currently. Let's see what else. Steven is here. And I have the ATEM Mini. Can I preview a camera before making it live? So I need to get in an extra monitor. No, you can't like that. The preview with the base ATEM Mini does not give you the multi-view, and we kind of walked over that. I have a couple of options that you can hack that, and I also got a product from Ori that you have to split all your signals, and they'll give you a multi-view, but unfortunately, no, there's no direct way to do that. Yeah, you could preview it, but it's not like you can preview it and it's another screen that will let you see it. That's like the multi-view. So the base ATEM Mini does not do that. Yeah, Josh, I already know what that is. It's the network for whatever reason. I need to do some, what is it? The quality, I forgot the term. The network quality on it. Whatever. All I need to do is, really what I need to do is copy everything from my NAS and put it on the computer itself instead of it trying to do that. That's all it is. And I actually did that for half, but obviously the intro is one that I did not do. John is here. Hope you're having a great Friday. We have a 20 megabits upload speed, measure 21 to 22 up weekly. Should this be okay for streaming at 1080p 29? Yes, that is more than enough. Yes, that should be more than enough. Yeah, you should be good with that. It's actually at my church, we actually do it at less than that, and we're fine. So you should be good to go. JHB here. I'm thinking about moving to FSU cables. With the, I don't know if that is that fiber optic cables or something. I don't know the acronym. With the ATEM Mini, is it best to use SDI to HDMI and a HDMI to SDI, or two bidirectional converters? Honestly, the bidirectional converters, they don't do both at the same time. So you're like, I have one, but it's meant like, okay, I want to use HDMI and convert to SDI, or then the other day I want to switch it around, but it does not do both at the same time. And then the other question is, do SDI cables have the same lag as HDMI? No, I haven't noticed any lag in the cables that I used to buy, or even the ones that I make. I don't have any issue. The lag is normally because of the processing of when it needs to convert. So even with the Black Magic ones, it adds like a frame. Once you start getting up to maybe 7 frames, you may be able to notice that. The average person wouldn't. Yeah, if you don't, as long as you don't have a lot of conversions on there, most of the drops in frames that's being added, or the lag, is not going to be very noticeable. You'll know because people will start telling you if if they can see it. Oh, well, thank you, Stephen. I really appreciate that. Y'all said my volume is low. Hold on, let me check, because I am doing something a little different. Oh, what's that? Okay. Well, let me crank it up just a little bit here on the road, and I just realized I need to take my phone off, because on Bluetooth it picked up on the road, and I don't want the phone to ring for that. All right, well, a little bit louder. Hope that works out for you. And we got some folks, like I said, from Brussels, Belgium. Awesome. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Back to John. Also, any experience with WOW Business Internet? Is it reliable? Have Comcast Business 150/20 renewed contract, 220 is offered, but for $3.20 more can get 650 from WOW. Might switch. No, I don't. I have not worked with them, but in all honesty, I'd rather do fiber, because they do same upload and download speed. That's why I can't wait for Fios to be here. If it's just that difference, I mean, it all depends on what you're using it for. I would go with it if it's only a $3 difference, but check it out. I personally have not worked with them. So sorry, I can't really can't give you any other stuff like that. Oh, okay. Josh said the code is wrong. Okay, I grabbed like 3 of the images, so let me, I just grabbed one, Josh, so my apologies. The real code is on the Facebook, and let me find the one, because Josh did the design for this. Thank you so much, sir. And I need to find the right one. Oh, and there it is. Let me upload that to the media player. And now let me show you the right one here for the people who want to see this. And there. So there's the information. All pastors and ministers are invited. It's going to be on March 14th on Zoom. All right. So I guess you can consider it kind of like what we're doing right now with a Q&A session, but it's not just going to be me. It's going to be a bunch of media ministries from all over the world that can try and answer your questions. My sister is on here talking about, yes, it's me. And yes, this is my older, much older, significantly older sister. I am the baby in the family. All right. What else we got going on? Thank you so much. Like I said, John, thank you so much. Everybody who's giving me a super chat, thank you so much. Everybody's talking about no spoilers. Yes, please don't spoil WandaVision. Maybe we should do that, Josh. No live, no streams in the group, and no spoilers. How about that too? And no capes. Let's see. We're on page number 1. Let's see. I will, Daniel, I will let you know when I upgrade if I decide to go in that direction. Josh wants to know, are you able to use the PTZ cam tonight? Saw the volleyball matches yesterday. I could, but I have some more stuff that I'm trying to test out, and that's a little bit too much to try and balance right now. What I'm trying to hurry up and do is get down to the game early, and with live score, there is a component that you can, most schools use a Daktronics controller to control their scoreboard. So the live score app that thankfully Chris, the owner of the company, gave me the full license, actually has integrations with that scoreboard. So for the last couple of days, I've been driving down to the school trying to find out, you know how difficult it is to find a male parallel cable? They're very difficult. I had to order them from all over the place, and ended up getting that, and then well, that's a DB25 cable. Then had to convert that to a DB9 cable, and then get a USB to DB9 adapter that works with my laptop. But then the scoreboard booth is about 50 feet away, so then I also had to get a USB over Ethernet extension so that I can hook everything up. And I still haven't even been able to hook it up to it yet because that cable just came in last night. The idea is, instead of me taking score, when they change the score on the scoreboard, it will send the controls automatically. So that's one less thing I need to worry about. I didn't want to add in something else while trying something new. I want to take it one thing at a time. But I will take y'all along with me when I do that. Anthony, no problem, man. I know you normally here. I know you were probably doing something, probably preparing for your next sermon. So you were cool. Paul Rivers would like to know, I am doing a virtual party. Which program do you recommend for sound and video? Can I use OBS with Zoom? Yeah, you can. Also, you can check out Millen app. I'm actually going to be doing an interview with Chris Garcia, I believe. He's a pastor I've been, talking with on Facebook and stuff like that. I'm going to catch up with him, and I'm going to be using Millen app for that. I can bring people in, and it does all the streaming. So it's kind of like StreamYard, a lot easier in comparison. You could try something like that, but ultimately, yes, you can use OBS and Zoom. The Chuck Taylor here. Do you think that given features and number of inputs that it has, you could completely eliminate OBS with the ATEM Mini Extreme? Honestly, that was the plan. The main issue that I have is you can't play video. Now, what I really wish they would do is, with all those extra USB, I can put video on the USB drive and play it through a media player. I would love something like that, because that's the main issue that I have with it. And then, these graphics and stuff like that I can't do, but technically I've been wanting to play around with this. You can hook up a character generator, or if you have the full version of DaVinci Resolve, you can output the clean view onto one of those inputs, and then you can do all the graphics you want there, which I think would be cool. But honestly, yes, you probably could completely remove the need for OBS, as long as you don't need any kind of like chat integrations and stuff like that. But you could do all of that externally. Like, I could use vMix right now and just use an output and bring it in and layer it and chroma key it and all that stuff. So technically, yeah, I want to do a video to talk about that if I decide to get one. I am going to get, if I do get one, it's going to be the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. But we got some other stuff we got to take care of first before we can go spend some money on that. Back to CP, but great question, Chuck. I'm planning on only having a Blue Yeti mic and the Focusrite in the power. Oh, yeah, CP, you should be more than fine with just that. Alrighty. Good morning, AJ. Quick question. I bought the Hollyland Mars 300 Pro. Do you think I can use that for live streaming through the ATEM? I need to look that up because I don't know that off the top of my head. Hollyland Mars 300 Pro. Let's see what that is. Oh, so those are the wireless HDMI. Yes, those will work for the people who want to see what that is. Oh, and I got the wrong image on here. That is wireless transmitters. And yes, these will work. I actually have heard of people using these. And yes, I don't know what the latency is. I don't think it's very bad, but I know a couple of people who are using some of the Hollylands for that same purpose. So yes, it would work. Back to Daniel. I'm using the Canon Vixia 800 and I'm looking for a motorized wall mount to act as a PTZ. Any suggestions? Yes, I'm going to show you what we actually used, what we still use for ours, because we're using Canon G20s. And at the time when we were doing this stuff and I was new to all this, looking at PTZs, they were an arm and a leg in comparison. So what we use at my church is this arm right here. It is the MPT 1100-SS from Servo City. It sends power over a single Ethernet that goes to these two motors, and you have a remote. And what I did is with the Canon, my Canon G20s, because they have Lanc support, I just ran another cable here to the Lanc remote and just ran everything back to our media booth. And that's what works. And it looks like that's the Canon R800 right there in the shot. But this is what I use for the front and the back at our church. So I will put a link in the chat for that. And then another question from Daniel. If you are not using the Blackmagic cameras or Resolve, is the ATEM Mini Pro a better buy than the ISO? Honestly, the ISO is only if you want to record all the inputs at the same time. Like me having this other camera and stuff like that, that works for when I'm editing. The reason I want an ISO is when we start doing games and I start having multiple cameras and we need to edit, if I miss something, I can always cut over to the other shot. The ISO is only needed, me personally, if you're doing editing and you miss a shot and you have to go back and record it, it's recording everything at the same time. If you're not doing that, I don't think the ISO is really needed. And honestly, the ATEM Mini Pro would be perfectly fine. So hopefully that helps. We're on page number 1. And then Chuck Taylor gave some suggestions for you as well, too, in the chat. Patrick here. We're having a gospel outreach meeting this Saturday via Zoom and streaming on YouTube. I'm using the Zoom OSC to control some of the spotlighting. Have you heard or used that? No, I have not. I have not. Something else I need to look into there. Brother Art, I want to thank you for the meeting. I discovered Ninja and I'm testing out. Could you do a review and training? Sure, I will look into that. But I think, yeah, because I know Chuck has talked about that and some other stuff, so I'll look into that. Josh here. Would you recommend a bot such as Nightbot or OsaBot for church live streams? It all depends. I haven't got to that point yet. Honestly, Facebook, I use their bot that's built in to try and respond to certain stuff. I mean, that's for my personal stuff. I haven't set up anything yet for the church standpoint. Those ones I'm not familiar with. I have to do some research on those. All right, so everybody's saying sound is good. Thank y'all so much for everybody saying y'all keep me in prayers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There you go, Josh. Like I said, no spoilers, no capes, or live streams. Exactly. Dean, any recommendations for communication systems between cameras and the media booth? Yeah, there's a couple. Hollyland sent me a sound system that we're using at church right now. Goes for around like $17.99. That might be on the high end. There are some other ones. They're escaping me right now, but I know B&H Photo has them. They're relatively inexpensive, and they come with a couple of headsets. Let me see if I can find it real quick. intercom system. Yeah, it's this EarTech Ultralight. And I think there's a couple of people in the Facebook group have actually used something like this. Something like this that would go in. I think that works pretty good. And then ultimately, you can always get some walkie-talkies. That's what our security ministry uses, and that serves them as well too. Back to John. What suggestion do you have in vMix to try to automate as many things as possible for a church live stream production to make it easier for volunteers to run it with a few steps as possible? Honestly, how I have mine set up is kind of like that. With my stuff, the way I have it right now, I have everything being controlled from my Stream Deck, but inside of vMix, and I don't have it connected to here so you can't see it. The way I have it is that I put triggers on every single input. So like when you see my countdown, once my intro is over, I have a trigger that will automatically jump to the next scene after a certain period of time, which is this. And then if I press certain buttons on here, it will switch over. You can program that into vMix to where it can make it simple. So again, just like at my church, it's simple for everybody else, but it does take work to set it up that way. So that's the first thing I would say. Check out adding the triggers to where you can do upon completion actions and concurrent actions, everything like that. Like for when I close this out, all the audio is killed so that you don't hear that, so we don't have any issues. So it's a lot that you can do with it. If y'all want me to, let me know, or we can do a deeper dive into vMix, because I did the vMix tutorial, but no one else asked for anything else with that. If you want me to, I can do that. Carl, thanks for the info. The church I go to has MediaShout 7. I'm getting ready to download that to stay in the same format as the church. Okay, cool. Schaefer's, we went and visited them at their church a while ago. What would be the best way to use lower thirds ATEM Mini Pro without using OBS, or should I continue using OBS to do it as if I'm streaming with the ATEM? Honestly, I've been trying to dabble with this and try and get my church to do this. We actually were doing this kind of like how I show. We do it in our presentation software, but right now we literally only have maybe one person that's been preaching, so it kind of gets redundant. So it's like, that's why I use the free animated plugins, because it's just they're on rotation. It makes it easy that way. But you could do it either way. I mean, we are set up to where we only got to press one button and then our lower thirds show up. It's just getting people to click on the lower third and type their new name in, or just select their name. It's when, what's the nicest way I can say this? When you're not really focused on the production and you're just doing it as a task, it seems like it's hard when you have to add a new task. But when your whole mindset is the production of the live stream, adding something else to make it simpler doesn't hurt if it's going to make the production better. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying with that. Chuck was saying, can't you do that with the HyperDeck? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That was my intention. But I'm just sitting back thinking, I had a HyperDeck personally, and I sold it. My church has one. And I'm just really, honestly, what I really wanted to do is I was looking at getting the video assistant, and I think the video assistant from Blackmagic can play back. And I might want to see from that. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to, be wise with the funds, but the HyperDeck is like $695 to add on top of that. So that's almost like another ATEM Mini Pro. I'm building this stuff out. But yeah, it's a lot of, the more and more you keep going into this, you can do so much stuff. So like when I do the video for the game today, you're going to see what has transformed in like 1 week from everything. But yeah, I have looked into that. I need to find a better way to make it more portable if I decide to go in that route. But thank you, sir. Let's see. Would you consider or recommend mirrorless cameras for live streaming services? Honestly, I would say use whatever you got. The only reason I personally don't use the mirrorless, I mean, even though this the Sony that's right here, I could use it for that, but this one was made for video. Most mirrorless cameras are not really designed from the beginning for live streaming, but they can be used. You have first the battery life, if you can plug it in, and then you have overheating issues for long extended periods of time. Most of them are not made for that. Some are, like I know the Lumix GH lines are. The Sony ZV-1 is good for it. I mean, both of those can still overheat. That's why mine is like up in the air and it's got air blowing on it the whole time. So no, I'm not against it. Just be mindful. Is there a restriction on how long it stays on? Do you have some way to externally power it so that if the battery drains, it actually can stay on indefinitely? That's the only thing. But no, besides that, there's no problem with using one. JHB, if you want to get rid of OBS, can't you use a hype? Yeah, exactly. That's what y'all says. I agree. I agree. Any recommendations for a wireless microphone? I would say for that's still, actually, it's the new one. And I might add this to my collection for games. Originally, I have the Rode Wireless Go, but they came out with the Rode Wireless Go 2 that actually gives you 2 mics and 1 receiver. So you can have 2, personalities on camera, and they'll be your voice. That would be a great system. I mean, it's $299. The original one is $199, but great mic. Actually, Spring Creek is borrowing mine right now so that they can have a second set, but I think they're going to go with getting something like this. And then when it comes to a wireless camera, honestly, just like we talked about, there are different wireless HDMI devices you can get from 125 up to like the Hollyland that was just talked about, 300 Pro. That's like 450, 500 that you can literally plug any camera into. So it's up to you. I like that route because then you can always change your camera out instead of it being a camera with wireless built in. That's just my choice on that. Let's see. Dwayne would like to know, can I use a USB cable to connect my X32 to the computer so OBS uses this as sound source? Yes, you can. As long as it's supported, you get the drivers, you plug it in. Just like I have the Rodecaster right now that's connected, and it's connected over USB, and it just shows up as a USB audio. I've done that with other churches as well. Yes, that will work. And this is why I forgot to put my phone on silent. Let's see. Can the record and stream fonts be made larger or the position of this in OBS change? Yes, you can. Record and stream fonts. Now, are you talking about text that you add as a source? I need to know more specific on what font exactly in OBS are you talking about. Adam, AJ, wanted to let you know, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Hey, brother, small problem. My problem is the Yamaha MG10XU computer not connecting. All devices connected, but this device is not connected. It's not connected. Have you tried connecting it to another computer, a different port, different cable? Download the drivers again, force an install of the driver, see if that works. That's the first thing I would think. do I use VirtualBox? If you're talking about the Java-based one to where I can make virtual machines, yes, I have. Don't use it now, but I have used that. Back to Schaefer's. Tried using the lower third plugin in OBS, but I get error, so I scrapped it. Didn't know the cause of the error. Hey, email me, because I know I had a couple of errors with it sometimes too. Maybe we can work through it. I mean, I know y'all set up anyway, so maybe we can find that out for you. Patrick, you can go DIY and build a Raspberry Pi HyperDeck. You know what? I got like 2 of these that are just sitting here, so maybe I might try and do something like that. I wanted to use one of these as a tally light, because I think Mike made a tutorial on that as well too. So I'm gonna check that out, y'all. Patrick, Chuck, I'm gonna look into that. Thank you. I got all this stuff. I might as well use it for something. Back to John. Been using vMix and will probably purchase it. Have been playing with triggers. It sounds like the Stream Deck is the way to go and the key to simplifying. What size do you recommend? I have all 3. I just bought another one, which I can't remember what bag I put it in. Yeah, I just bought the regular one again to take with me for the game. I have the XL for my stream that you see. I have the Mini right in front of me for this computer. So I have all 3. Yeah. That's a lot of it. Rolando wants to know, how am I putting this stuff on my stream? This is with vMix. This is vMix Social. That's pulling my stream from, it can pull from YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and IRC and bring in comments. And that comes with vMix for free. But vMix does cost. No, I don't think it is. I mean, I still use OBS a lot. I still use it at my church. Mainly, I think OBS is a good option because, again, vMix is good. I'm not knocking it. But when a lot of churches that are still hemming and hawing over the price that it costs to do this, to add another $300 to $600 to maybe even $1,500 in software that if you want updates now, you got to pay an additional $60 or something every year to do that. That's a big pill to swallow. And yeah, it will simplify a lot of stuff, but a lot of people are like, hey, we can do this with OBS for free. So I don't think it's becoming obsolete. Honestly, I do like OBS more than anything, and I only use vMix mainly because a lot of people asked me about it, and I threw myself into it to learn it, and just the simplicity of bringing in comments and stuff like that, calls and things like that, that's why I keep using it. But I do the games, I do OBS on that. Will it be a day that maybe I might buy another license for vMix and use that for the games? I don't know, but we're at the point where we're going to be doing 4 to 5 to 10 schools a day on weekends for games. That's 10 times how many other copies of vMix, as well as ATEMs, as well as cameras, as well. That it starts adding up. So if I can get by with just using OBS or just do everything in the ATEM itself, then I don't really need it. But I would stick with OBS if I don't, unless I really, really, really needed the functionality of vMix. Jay Santiago. What's up, AJ? We are purchasing a Sony A6400. Do I need a dummy battery to power it for streaming, or can I use AC power adapter? You could. Let's see. I can't remember everything that comes with that one. A6400, not 640. If it has, and I'm looking here on B&H Photo, and it's taking me to articles, not the actual camera. I don't recall what comes with it. And see, sometimes I don't like when they do this. I guess when I go look for stuff to buy, I look for weird pictures. Like I want the pictures of everything. So let's see if the 360 will let me do it. I like to see what jacks are available and all this other fun stuff. So let me see. So if this is like mine, the multi is just a USB. And the way I have mine that's above me right now plugged into a USB cable, and it keeps it constantly powered, and it doesn't drain at all. It's actually able to charge my battery while still functioning. If it functions like that, then yes, you should be able to do that without a problem. Just please don't cover it up in any way, shape, or form. Like I had a couple of people put it inside the teleprompter, and because there wasn't enough air coming in, it did overheat. But like I have mine open, and this works perfectly fine. Dylan, the wireless HDMI use Ethernet. Sorry, no, it doesn't. The wireless HDMI is just you will plug in the HDMI out into, like for me, I have the HDMI out going into a TV. The HDMI in on the sending unit is plugged into my computer, so it looks like a second monitor, and then it wirelessly connects from the receiver to this from the sender to the receiver, and that's how it picks it up. So no Ethernet at all. RCCG House of Gold, hello. Okay, I got 4 people that's telling me now about the Raspberry Pi project for the HyperDeck, so I'm definitely gonna look into that. And Patrick is saying that the open source version has been moved to a paid model, but it's reasonably priced. Okay, maybe I'll do that as a video, because again, we do have a HyperDeck at my church, and I used to have one, and I want to see what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna search that out, and I'm gonna work on that. Okay, thank you, Chuck. You said you're already gonna send me a link. Appreciate it. Okay, Bat, you're saying the banner at the bottom of OBS, what the amount of time is shown. Can these fonts be made larger? Not directly in OBS. It would have to be done in the size on your desktop. So like, for example, let me see if I can sample this right now to kind of show you. Hopefully it won't mess up what I'm doing here. So what they are talking about is the text down here. So what you could do, so I'm going to come over here so y'all can see my monitors. You can come in here and change this font size here. I'm going to change it to 150. And then normally, I feel like I'm going to blow my nose. This will affect the font size. See, and because of my monitor, it got smaller. So that did the opposite of what I was trying to do. Now I am on a 4K monitor, so but my other monitors to the side are just 1080p. So maybe this wasn't a good example of doing. Oh, I was actually on the wrong monitor. I had to pick the monitor I want to scale. So let's do that. And now let's see. Yeah, so you saw the font get bigger. Let's close it out and open it up again. So yeah, so it does get it a little bit bigger. You could do it that way. And that's your scaling. Just right click on the desktop, go to display properties, select the monitor, and then you want to change your font size right there. That's where you would do it at. Other than that, I don't know of a direct way to do that just for OBS. Can OBS display comments? For YouTube, yes. For Facebook and others, no. You would use a program like H2R Graphics. Aaron but I always pronounce his name wrong. Look him up, Aaron. Let me pull his channel up. He talks about that a lot. Cool guy, talks about a lot of stuff like that. This guy, he talks about that, H2R graphics. And yes, it does YouTube, but last time I checked, it still does not do Facebook. And that's the reason why I do it in vMix, because I can pull from all of those. I don't see why not. I personally haven't, so I can't really talk about how you would and all that other good stuff. But I know there's somebody on our Facebook group that has. And if you haven't, make sure you join the Facebook group. It's like this all the time with ministries all over the world. So somebody has done something with what you're trying to do on that group. And a lot of the people on here are that. Let's see. RCCG House of Gold here. I use vMix and OBS for streaming in my church, but I prefer vMix. And when I try GT Title, I have to use white color as an overlay for it to work, which also makes it impossible for white designs. I'm wondering, why do you have to use a white overlay? Let me know. Why do you have to use a white overlay? Carl, do you do coding in the Raspberry Pi? It's been a while. I have not. I've kind of hung my coding hat up. I don't do that like I used to anymore. Using Droid Cam webcam. I want to buy a camera. What do you suggest? Under $100 and a mic. For a camera, honestly, at that price, a webcam. I mean, a Logitech C920 would work great for that. All right, and Monty has an answer for those who are looking to buy that Sony A6400. That's what he uses for live streaming. He's never used a dummy battery. So there you go. See, this is the power of the group. I don't know everything, but collectively, we have a lot of answers. Johnny Canada, do you know if the Canon R HDMI feed can stay on so that I can add it to our stream? I've purchased a dummy battery. The Canon R, is there not a number to that, or is just I'm not familiar with the Canon R? I mean, is that an EOS R? Or wait a minute, it says Canon R winter sale. What camera? Yeah, it's a couple of lines. I mean, if you're talking about the Canon EOS R, I mean, you got 5, 6. Here's just the R by itself. That's the body only. I mean, I'm not 100% sure if it can stay on like that. That's kind of the reason why I personally don't use them. I use camcorders mainly because camcorders are meant to be on for long periods of time. I don't know if you can turn off the setting in that because I've never really messed with it, so I can't really tell you. Russ, thank you for joining. Glad you're getting something out of it. New Hope Baptist Church online. Hey, AJ, what do you think about Boxcast? Overpriced. That's just me. Sorry. That's just me. We currently use Caster to multi-stream to Facebook and YouTube, looking at Boxcast as they can send directly to our website and via the Boxcast app. Let me be nice. I personally think it's overpriced for that amount because at the amount, I think Boxcast is still at like $99 a month. And honestly, at that rate, you could buy Vimeo, and Vimeo can do all of that of what you're trying to do. Vimeo you can grab the code, put it on your website, and then you don't have to touch it again. That's what I did at my church, and it has multi-streaming built in. That's just me personally. I'm saying that I have not used Boxcast. I've had a lot of people. Actually, no, I helped a couple of churches that used it, and we've got them away from it, and they haven't had any problems after we switched them from that. But I mean, there's a need for each one. For me, I'm looking from my standpoint. Boxcast was not an option just because of the price at my church. So that's why we had to use other methods for that. But I know a bunch of people that still use it, and they're really happy with it. I just can't speak on it from there. So, sorry. Back to Johnny. Do you use animated graphics from the Hyperdeck on your ATEM Studio HD? No, I do not. When I had mine originally, no, I didn't, because I was still dabbling, learning this stuff. And at church, we don't use it. We use it just to record services on SD cards. But I'm thinking about it because, I mean, the work has gone in a different direction for now. Back to New Hope. Yeah, I know they can actually go to Roku, Apple TV, and Fire Stick, but so can Vimeo. They have a team. If you get the premium line that allows live streaming, they have options to do that as well too. All right, we had a question a couple of weeks ago. They were saying had a black screen issue on your gaming system. Later found out a few changes to the power settings and reapplying thermal paste corrects the issue. Awesome. Glad it's working for you. Cool. Can the time banner be moved? I don't believe so. I think that's in the code of the program. Paul wants to know, did I say vMix? Yes, vMix. Dylan says, tried to join the Facebook group. Don't think I answered all the questions, though hit submit too soon. Have not received a response. Yeah, because most likely the way the group is set up, I don't really go and manually check anybody in. Once you answer all the questions, you're automatically brought in. But what we're going to do is look at the request. And let me see. I don't want to give your name out on here. Let me know. New York? Yes or no? Leave that in the comments, and we'll see. Okay, Johnny was talking about the EOS R. Again, I don't know. I would think it would, because especially I think that's the line that supports that utility that allows it to do streaming over the USB. So I think it does, but I can't 100% guarantee it since I don't use it personally. This is all in vMix Social that's doing this. It's an overlay that captures all of the chat and it sends it as an overlay into vMix. And then I have my Stream Deck that brings it up or closes it like that. And that's how, and this is all with triggers and everything like that, just bringing this up. Chuck is like, the Canon R is not a pirate camera. R. Hey, I'm a pirate. Hampton Pirates. R. Josh was saying that he personally prefers Resi over Boxcast, also with their integration with ProPresenter. Okay, cool. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm not gonna say nothing about that. Be a good boy, AJ. Be a good boy. Art D is saying, I discovered in OBS using media source when opening a scenes group, the video auto plays. Can I prevent that? Yes, you need to turn the setting off to say that it triggers every time you click on the scene. There's a setting that you have to do. That's kind of like what I do with the game. I don't want a touchdown video to play once I go to a scene. So you just have to set it to where you don't play it immediately once you do on there. And it's right under, when you add the media source, it's under the properties there. Johnny again, what are you using to bring up the animations you have used with us? Like yeah, that's all from a template from Video Hive, and then that's just it's a slideshow of images with transparency, and then that's set as a source in OBS or in vMix that I just trigger and it just plays that graphics. And the trigger I have it, when it gets to end, it holds the last image. That's why it doesn't go away. Compared to the same thing when I do it for my lower thirds, it does this, but then it goes away because that's the full animation, and I don't put a hold on it. All of those are themes that I got from Envato Elements or Video Hive. My sister is also a Hampton pirate, and that's what she said, R. And I was in the marching force, played trombone. Yay. Want to know, can I do a review on that camera as it has a follow me feature? If they send one to me, I would gladly review it. I really don't have a need to buy one. So most of the time I used to buy stuff and then review it, but thankfully we're at the point where people are sending stuff to me. I'll put it this way. If somebody wants to buy it and send it to me for me to review and I'll send it back to you, cool. Or if you can let them know, I'd love to review it, have them send it to me, and hey, we can do that. Adrian wants to know, any suggestions for royalty-free instrumental download site for church streaming? Yes, Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle is another suite from Envato. You can buy the music for them, and now you have the license. But there's also Scott Holmes Music, no relation. I used him a lot until, maybe I spell it right, Holmes Music. Okay, hold on. Oh, there it goes. It took a while for it to pull up. This is, I used to get a lot of music from him, and he charges, but if you go to licensing, I don't know why the site is going so slow here. It is free for non-commercial use. So for YouTube, online media, websites, training, anything that you're non-commercial podcast, radio, you can download anything and it's free. So that's what I was using for my backgrounds, everything like that, for my live stream, stuff like that. And he has a good selection of stuff. There's no words to it. So he has a good selection of stuff as well too. So I will put that in the chat as well if y'all are interested in that. How can I disable HDMI sound? Is causing buzzing in OBS. Well, first off, how is it connected? How and how are you bringing that in? Because you could just hit the speaker on the source in OBS and it will completely kill the sound coming in on that source. Need a little bit more info on that one. Dwayne, in OBS, is your settings video output scale resolution at 720 or 60? Is it possible to get? Yeah, mine is at 1080. I always set mine at 1080 and at 60. That's the max I push mine to. If you can't do any higher, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do higher than that. Because if I cut over here and if I go to the settings and I go to my video, yeah, so mine is at 1080, and at 60. I mean, technically, I could actually go higher. You would just have to type it in, but yeah, that's what mine is at. So I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do higher than that unless your system can't support it. Wait a minute, we got some more Hampton folks in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Yay! And that's actually blue. Can't see it in there, but awesome. Streaming now with 2 C920s and using OBS as the encoder. Was thinking about upgrading my computer to improve encoding, but now wondering if a separate hardware encoder would be a better choice? Well, Russ, it all depends. If you're using a hardware encoder, you're not going to be leveraging your computer at all. So like right now, I have the A10 Mini Pro right here that has encoding, but I'm not using it at all because I can't do what I'm doing right now with that stuff unless I routed everything a completely different way, which technically could be done. I would have to use a whole bunch of DSKs and all this other stuff to erase the black when I'm trying to do the graphics and stuff like that. So it is possible. The fact that I've been down this path, it's easier for me to stay on this path than to go in a different direction. But if I went with the A10 Mini Extreme, I might do that. But back to your question, the encoder most likely, unless you're, well, trying to think, because you could send everything out to the encoder and then the encoder goes directly to that. So like say you used a new Web Presenter HD from Blackmagic that has a HDMI input, so you would have some type of switcher or something like that, say OBS. Instead of streaming with OBS, you would output to the second monitor, which would be an HDMI from your computer into the Web Presenter. Well, I think it does support USB too. But anyway, you would send it to that, and then that would stream. That's how you could do it, the encoding. I haven't done it that way, but in theory, that's how that would work. And that could save you from having to upgrade a computer as well too. Okay, back to your question. It's like I connect the HDMI from the projector directly to the computer. Okay, if you're doing that, what you need to do if you want to kill the sound is, and I do this on my system as well too, and I don't have this up. Oh, I didn't mean to do that because I'm waiting to hear back from Dylan. So what you would do, let me unlock my taskbar so you can see. So from here, what you could do is go to your sound settings and then go to sound control panel. And then for wherever that you have playback, so like you see right here, I have the ATEM, I got my monitors here. I have all of those disabled. So it shouldn't be sending anything. If you're getting a buzzing sound, most likely you have your system set to actually broadcast something over that. Go into those settings and disable it so that there's no option at all. That's what I would try that first and see what happens. So you say, apart from vMix Social, how can I do a pop out like this on vMix, like using GT Title? Yes, I have a title that's made in vMix. The vMix Social is triggered to capture my content, the comments, and send it to that title as an overlay. And that's literally it. So you need to have one. And then, like I said, it's on a different screen, so I can't really show you. Here, well, let me see. Let me turn on scan converter over there, and then maybe I can show y'all here. If my connection starts getting wonky, it's because I got too much stuff going on. All right. So if I take this down and I want to show you my screen, and I'm going to do Radeon 1. Is it? All right. So this is what I have. This is what's going on my streaming system right now. So all I have is I have this title right here that I made, and then I have, and this is vMix Social that's pointing to that title, and there's my connection dipping. So I'm gonna close that out. But that's all I do on how to do that. And I don't know why it should be that slow over my network. I really don't know. Jamie, that is the animated lower thirds plugin that's in OBS. That's what that is. All right, Dylan, if that's the case, then I know who you are here on the Facebook group, and you will be approved here in a second. Let me do that while I'm bringing up Johnny's question. OBS 1080p streaming does not let you change the setting if you are currently using a software like streaming. Correct. You cannot do that while it's going on. Or if you have NDI going on or anything like that, it will not let you. All right, Dylan. So if that was you, I've just approved you. So you should be able to get in the group now. Armando, you don't have to answer it now. We have English and Spanish services. I'm from the English, but there's no media chairman at church, and I want to offer both services, but I don't know how. Are you just talking about, the full experience in Spanish in another language? Give me a little bit more detail for that. All right, I think we're caught up so far in questions, and there's the window I was looking for that I opened all the way over here. If you haven't, folks, please make sure you hit the like button. It does help. You wouldn't be surprised. You'll be surprised how much, the more and more I'm delving into YouTube stuff, the earlier that the like button is pressed, it helps so much. And I really want to know why my button is going to the wrong thing. If I hit this again, that's going to the wrong thing. How is it doing that? Oh, because I didn't change it. That's why. All right. Give me a second to change that. Plus, I'm giving y'all some more time if you had any other questions. And from there, I shouldn't have done it because now vMix is locking up on me, and I shouldn't have tried to change this while I was live streaming on here. Back to John Cook here. Do you know what topic, and are you able to share what you'll be speaking on at the next worship summit? Honestly, I haven't gotten the details yet. But mainly I was told that it was supposed to be technical training from a technical aspect. So I don't know. I haven't got any details yet, but you're letting the cat out the bag. Shh. We got some more stuff coming. And I think I locked up vMix by trying to change out something here. So I'm kind of stuck. No. All right, so we might have to end our stream here because my vMix just completely gave me a not responding message. So it's still streaming, but I don't know, and I'm getting everything back, so I'm just not going to touch it from right now. Philip, in the video you posted this morning, what is the remote you had on the Canon G50? That was a... All right, my stuff is hanging. I don't know. Oh, vMix is hung because my multi-view just froze. I thought my stuff froze. So man, I can't touch nothing right now. But the remote was a simple Lank remote that I have at my church. Let me show you exactly what it is. Oh, and also, has anybody watched Coming to America yet on Amazon Prime? I watched about 5 minutes of it, then I fell asleep. So I got to go back and watch some more of it. The rest of it, that is. Give me a second. Trying to find where that is. All right, here it is. This is the link remote. Very nice. Like I said, very simple, but only certain cameras support it. The Canon line, the higher ones support it, and the Sony ones work, but you got to have a bunch of adapters on it to make it work. You probably just better stick with the Sony specific adapters instead of trying to use that instead. I'm trying to make sure my stream didn't crash on me because vMix still is not responding. All right, my stuff is still here. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, y'all. I mean, honestly, the word came that I was invited because of y'all. Y'all went to the worship summit, and they said at the end they asked about suggestions, and y'all suggested me. So I want to thank y'all. Really appreciate it. Johnny, I actually at my church I use Pro Presenter. I was pausing because honestly, I don't really care. I really was trying to reach out to Resi because I wanted to do a review of it because a lot of people were asking about it. But I got funneled down the spam hole, and I just had so much spam coming back to me. And by the time I'm like, I'm done, I don't, y'all are missing my point. I wanted to do a review for church from a church standpoint because people were asking about it. By that time, somebody actually read that and got that message. I had been inundated with so much spam that I'm like, I'm not even interested now. And then, then I got another email saying, okay. And then all of a sudden, even though I unsubscribed from the emails, I started getting spam all over again. And the same person I was talking to, I said, I just specifically asked y'all to stop sending me stuff I'm not interested anymore. And y'all are spamming me. Please unsubscribe. They said, sorry. They unsubscribed me. Then 2 days later, I started getting the same emails again. And that's the reason I was holding my tongue. I haven't had a chance to test out the service and stuff like that, but I shoot y'all straight. I just had a bad kind of user experience with the people trying to get an understanding. So it's not that the product is bad. My interaction with the people, I had some issues with that. So that's why I haven't revisited testing that. And that's why I was kind of biting my tongue, but just being honest. Let's see. What are ways to set up a pre-recorded video to stream at a future to Facebook and YouTube? Well, Facebook and YouTube both have a Premiere feature. So you would upload to both platforms, kind of like what I do with videos here. I upload my videos at night, and I schedule it to go live at a certain time to Premiere, which will notify people that I put a new video up. The same thing happens on Facebook. You just upload it and say, when is it going to post? Like I do videos for highlight videos for a barbershop. I upload them, and then at a certain time, they are released to the people who like the page. It would be either one of those. You just schedule it and then set the time. That's it. Adam, how do you get set up to broadcast on Roku? What is needed hardware? Honestly, it depends on the platform. Vimeo has it. I was looking at going down that path with the live streaming of sports 2 years ago and really didn't revisit it. And I might have to revisit it again. But Vimeo has a team that you call, and they kind of handle that on their side. So it's not anything else you would have to do. Any other platform, I'm not really aware of the process of that. Oh, okay. Armando was saying, I was talking about to offer me a permanent staff, and I don't have an idea how much to charge for that position to make it as my income since I don't have any right now. Well, it all depends. This is kind of like unique based off of what I do. And I already told people this at church, so it's not like I'm letting anything out the bag. I was an ETL developer for about 10 years. Then I was a help desk technician for over another 10 years. So I've worked every level of help desk, been a programmer, did all that stuff. And based off of, if I took every single role that I do at my church and change that to a base pay, my pay, honestly, in the real world would be about $80,000 a month based off of the skill set that's being done. Obviously, that's ridiculous. I don't think anybody would pay that. If y'all do, please hit me up at questions@ajhomes.com, and we can talk about that if you're trying to pay $80,000 a month for me to do this stuff. But you need to be, I would think, look at it at a project standpoint. Don't do it as an hourly type of thing. And how long is your typical service? How much is your time worth? And this might sound arrogant to some people, but I mean, this is the way it is. At the level of what I do now, my time is, at least worth $1,000 an hour. I don't charge that, but I have to think as a business owner, if I'm not generating $1,000 in this moment of time, it's a waste. So like when somebody does a consultation with me, it's $100, but I know that that's going to generate at least that amount down the road. As in, I know the information I'm going to give is going to be able to help, and the recommendation of how much I was able to help is going to filter out. And I would probably get off of, you paid $100 for something I helped you with, but because of what I helped you with and because of my input, that you recommend word of mouth to multiple other people, that I would make that back. So that's a good investment of my time. So I would say the same thing. Think about an investment of your time. How much can you potentially make off that amount of time with your skill set and what you're trying to do? Now, again, I understand this is for God and everything like that. I completely agree. But, no man has made me rich. God has put me where I'm at right now. So I'm more than thankful for that. So don't think this is a money talk. But, the laborer is worth his hire at the same time. You just have to balance that out and see what that is. I can't give you that number. I know what that number is for me, and that number has changed multiple times as my expertise has gone up, which normally that's how it goes with anything else. So maybe that was more info than you needed, but hey, that's how it works. Johnny, what remote would you recommend using with the XA40 camcorder for zooming? That same remote I just showed would work. Because the XA10 was the same thing as the G20, and the XA40, I think, is the same as the G50. So it will work the exact same way. And it's like only $20, $25, something like that. Hello. Back to Johnny here. No, actually, you're Nana, you're not late. The camera is high up and hard for volunteers to use at the moment. Is there one with a speed dial to adjust the speed of the zoom on the fly? Well, these are pressure sensitive buttons. So you hold it, press it down hard, it'll zoom fast and back. So, I mean, that will work as well too. Streets of Destiny, actually, I'm trying to work on it. If all this other stuff recently hadn't happened, I would have actually had the conversation with him a lot earlier. I'm trying to debate if I'm going to just do it live or I'm going to do it recorded. I don't know yet. Hopefully, I might try and do it Saturday if he's not preparing for a sermon, or it might have to be my schedule. Normally, I have my schedule locked down, but a lot of things changed this week that I wasn't really prepared for to kind of mess my schedule up. But I will let y'all know when we do. How do you connect your A10 Mini Pro to your laptop? Over USB. Over a standard USB cable is what I use. That's it. folks, I think, yeah, we've been going for a minute here. And like I said, I got to get prepared for a football game. We got a whole bunch of stuff packed up. I need to make sure my deck link is in my bag because I don't recall where that is. But yeah, if y'all are interested in the games and stuff, because my Formation Sports came from our media ministry at church. So that's what birthed from this. And I use the same skills for that we do at church, I use here. So if you are interested at all, we'll be streaming here on youtube.com/Formation Sports. This is a game we're going to be doing tonight in about 6 hours. Yeah, so check it out. We actually we're doing pretty much all the sports for this high school, Prince George High School. All the home games, we're waiting to hear about if we're going to do away games. That is dependent on the other school as well. Honestly, Josh, I was going to change it, but seeing how vMix is still hung, I can't change anything right now. And it looks like my bit rate just tanked all of a sudden. It says right now, YouTube says it just went down to 871 when it normally was kilobits per second, when it's normally 4,500. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I cannot wait to move over back to Fios. Alicia would like to know, do you know how to connect direct internet to a Mac with the A10 Mini? Yeah, it would just be USB. The iMac, either you have, I don't think it has it's most likely it has Lightning, but it should have a regular USB-C cable to USB-A should work. At least that's how mine works on my Hackintosh. And then another church I was working with, they have an iMac. That's how we connected to it. So it should be pretty straightforward. Josh, yes, they most likely will be because of all the stuff. Clarence, yes, the school paid for us to just live stream it's open to anybody. So if you go to facebook.com/Formation Sports, you can watch the games. If you go to youtube.com/Formation Sports, it's open. Originally we were doing e-tickets, but because of the pandemic, they just wanted it to be available to everybody. So should be straight. All right. So I doubt we're going to do a closing because everything is acting up. I don't know if it's going to respond to this. I mean, my commands right now with the chat and everything are working, but vMix is on hold. So anyway, thank y'all so much for watching, folks. We got some other videos that are coming down the pipe. Like I said, thank y'all so much. And if no one has ever told you, I thank you and appreciate you for all that you're doing from a media ministry for your local ministry, helping to spread the word to your city, state, nation, country, world, because that's what it's all about. Y'all are e-missionaries, where we're sharing the message of Jesus Christ to the entire world. And that's what e-missionary and media ministry is about. And hopefully the stuff that we bring here helps you as best as we possibly can. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Share this video. Share the videos here with everybody, because believe it or not, there are a whole bunch of churches and ministries who still aren't doing anything, and we're here to help. So thank you so much. Y'all have a great weekend, day, evening, afternoon, whichever one it is, and we'll see y'all on the next video. Later. And nope, it doesn't play. So I just got to cut it off. Later.